So this is the Bitcoin halving cycle. It's that chart. That chart is the chart. That's why it looks like a banana. It's just like, it just does this. And it's why we're all in crypto, to be honest.
Wait a minute, everyone. We all agree that the crypto market never sleeps, but with countless newsletters out there, how do you choose the best one for you? Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. In today's video, Raoul Talks gives us everything we need to understand about the banana zone and Bitcoin halving, the election's role in changing people's perceptions of crypto and investment strategies, its macro outlook, and much more. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
The banana zone is that period in crypto markets which you would call altcoin season. It's when everything just starts going vertical. Now, it always comes in the US election year because of this cycle, which is the Bitcoin halving cycle, which is this everything code cycle. And it tends to come around the summer or autumn of that year, and things start accelerating and get silly. And when prices start going bananas, and they look like the banana. So there's some charts that I've shown on Twitter where, you can see the banana zone there on the left side of the chart. The prior banana zone is when suddenly you get consolidation, it goes up a bit, consolidates, and then it just goes bananas. No, the bananas that are a function of the tech.
Okay.
In the end, the more people build on it, the more... If you abstract this all away, what are we doing here? We've been given the new layer to the internet, which is the internet of value, the layer of ownership, settlement, all of this stuff. Now, unlike the internet, we couldn't own that. We can own this. So the more it gets used, the more the number go up, and the more we profit from it. So it's this huge egalitarian, democratic way of distributing a huge amount of wealth to a huge number of people. To put it in perspective, this space is a $2.5 trillion space today. By the end of this cycle, it should be $10 to $15 trillion. By 2032, wow, if you continue growing at these kind of rates, you get to $100 trillion. So there's $97.5 trillion of money on the table, which is why I keep telling people not to fuck this up, because the opportunity is so big. And that is just by owning the new internet, essentially. So that's what this is all about. So there is a banana zone, which is the periods of time where it goes bananas. Then we get the corrective periods, and then we repeat this cycle again. Now, will everything repeat perfectly? Will it be identical? No. There's no guarantees come with this. But it's based on the liquidity cycle. It's based on the macro cycle. It's based on interest rates. It's based on a lot of things.
So let's
As the crypto community awaits the arrival of the golden bull run, which should follow the Bitcoin halving event, analysts try to set expectations for BTC price this bull cycle peak. Specifically, 4 analysts convened to place Bitcoin, BTC, cycle high to be between $200,000 and $500,000. Indeed, this is a bullish expectation, and the analysts make it clear that it is not a prediction or financial advice. They confirm that it is just an observed expectation based on previous cycle high patterns, and go on to explain their thesis. The analysts observe the priced action of the Bitcoin price charts through the Bitcoin halving events of the past. In particular, the data observed is the price of Bitcoin at 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 18 months of Bitcoin halving. Here what they notice is that there are moments initially where in the first to 3 months the market simply analyzes the scene. Where in between 6 to 18 months of the Bitcoin halving event, there are parabolic price appreciations taking place. Since the first halving to the third halving, the data shows the Bitcoin price return high after every cycle. In the first, it was a 45x, then 28x, and then almost 8x. These are great returns for a short time for Bitcoin. This is interesting because in the current Bitcoin halving phase we are moving through, then a big price appreciation is to be expected. A big aspect leading to that is the Bitcoin ETF support. Historically, if we take the average of returns in the last 2 cycles, then the pump expected this season could be exponential. The most iconic accomplishment, should the Bitcoin hit that appreciation level, then the market of crypto could be very interesting since this price will take Bitcoin, BTC, beyond the traditional gold markets.
Yeah, so if you think of what liquidity is doing, why the central banks and governments are injecting liquidity, it's to be able to fund the debts. We're in the big debt funding cycle this year, which is why the banana zone happens and why the everything code cycle, all of this happens. They have to fund all the debt. And so they inject liquidity into the system. They do it via rate cuts. They do it via the reverse repo. They do it via quantitative easing. They do it by any mechanism they can to roll the debt. And that's Europe, the US, China, Japan, the UK, everybody. Right? So they all do the same game. So they're all teeing up. They've been waiting for inflation to come lower, ready to start hitting the accelerator. Liquidity has been rising, which is why the markets have been rising. But it gets to the phase where it has to go up a lot to finance, $10 trillion of stuff that needs to be financed. So that's all to come. And that tends to happen this year and next year. How much do your parents care about crypto? That's the age of these people. I mean, they don't really care, but they care about the voters. And look, Coinbase has 108 million accounts, of which right now maybe 10, 12 million are active. As you start going to the banana zone, that starts going from 10 million to 20 million to 30 million. So suddenly it becomes a lot of voters. Add that to the political power of the firms that are involved in the ETFs, and it's now actually a funding issue for these people as well. Because if they say the wrong things, then the big financial sponsors for their super PACs start applying pressure. So I think it's much more of an issue than they first realized. And I think Liz Warren made a fatal mistake of saying we're building an anti-crypto army without realizing you're fighting a bunch of degenerate meme artists who are native to the internet, who are distributed everywhere. That's not an easy battle to take on. And I think they're starting to realize that this could be their own goal, because obviously RFK as well is running on a pro-crypto format. So the Democrats, they either have to kind of fall in line, or they're going to try and say, we are the party that stands against this. But who does that play to? They're not going to get the swing voter by doing that. Yeah, and I think this is typical of an election cycle, is suddenly it's going to become super important to these people, just because it's, in an election which is very 50-50, anybody who can swing the vote matters. And so they will get out of their way to find those little pockets of voters, and this is a big pocket of voters.
Anticipation of potential Ethereum ETF approvals in June is pivotal in driving ETH's price above $4,000, with whales accumulating and rising holding sentiment furthering the bullish outlook. Ethereum's native token has rallied by circa 67% so far in 2024 and may continue its upside moves in June, per a mix of on-chain, fundamental, and technical indicators. As of June 1, Ethereum had entered the breakout stage of its prevailing falling wedge pattern. A falling wedge is a bullish reversal pattern characterized by 2 descending, converging trend lines. As a rule of technical analysis, this pattern resolves when the price breaks above the upper trend line and rises by as much as the wedge's maximum height. Interestingly, the ongoing breakout further appears to be part of a bull flag pattern, characterized by 2 parallel downward-sloping trend lines. As a rule of technical analysis, bull flags resolve when the price breaks above their upper trend line and rises by as much as the previous uptrend's height. This puts ETH en route $6,000 by June's end or early July. According to analysts, there is a legit possibility that U.S. spot Ethereum exchange-traded funds, ETF, could launch by late June following BlackRock's decision to update the Form S-1 for its shares Ethereum Trust with the SEC. This is a good sign. We'll probably see the rest roll in soon, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas commented in a May 29 post on X earlier. Balchunas had predicted spot Ethereum ETF to take in 10 to 15% of the flows that spot Bitcoin ETF had seen in the earlier days after their launch. The successful launch of Ethereum ETF in June, accompanied by significant capital inflows, suggests there is rising demand for ETA. These factors can push Ethereum's price above $4,000 over the next 30 days. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.